Yo, what's up, everybody? Lawler here. Going to be talking about the closed qualifiers as well as the groups for the Apollo Open. If you guys don't know what the heck I'm talking about, EU Regional 1 is getting underway. They have a name for it called the Apollo Open. And we're going to be breaking down closed qualifier results and how teams got where. And because we did all the math, we should know, based upon like previous results and stuff, kind of like how we figured out North America, who is Europe, who's playing who and stuff. And one group, as always, is more brutal than other. Poor Navi. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the video. Got some fun things to talk about, primarily the results from this past weekend. We had, obviously, our 8 teams, as I mentioned, at the checkpoint phase after the fall events happened. 8 teams that are automatically qualified for the main event. Those teams are Dignitas, BDS, Endpoint, Semper, Vitality, Evil Geniuses, K-Corp, and Misfits. Those are your top 8 teams in the overall points that, after the checkpoint process was made, they automatically get into the main event. We had 16 teams through the closed qualifiers. Those teams are 00 Nation, Team Queso, Williams Resolve, Heroic, T, which is the new Tox Exo Atomic roster, Navi, Cooksters Minions, Stormtroopers, MAMT, Team Singularity, Savage, Bluey's new roster, Rix.GG, Triple Trouble, Roniki's new roster, Guild, Pitos Canyons, and SK Gaming. Not the one that you guys remember. This is Fruity, Econ, and Carrion now. Those teams in the closed qualifier play a Swiss stage format where 1-0 teams play 1-0 teams, 2-0 teams, 2-0, etc. until you either have 3 wins and you move on, or 3 losses and you get eliminated. Those results are as follows. T, the new roster, beating Stormtroopers, Navi, and Queso, looking the best at 3-0, also going 9-5 in the game differential. They also have the higher seed, therefore they are given the overall number 1. Williams Resolve, another team a lot of people for some reason don't tend to pay attention to, with Season Prime and Redosin, who have been super consistent as a like top 10, top 8, I would say, kind of area. They always look like they're going to get close to qualifying. Do so yet again. They go 3-0 as well with wins over Singularity, Heroic, and 00 Nation. 00 Nation follows them after the loss. They then beat Guild, Singularity, Rix.GG back for the first time in a long time. Cooksters Minions showing some consistency, which is awesome. Navi, and then Team Queso. Roniki's new team doesn't qualify. New Heroic with Yukio doesn't qualify. Guild with CRR doesn't qualify. Stormtroopers, no Savage. A lot of rosters making some changes, but all of the top teams that pretty much remain the same do continue to show those results. So unfortunate for them, but those teams are going to progress forward. Because of that, I did some spreadsheet math stuff, and let me explain it. I'm going to put this in dark mode so it doesn't blind all of you. Let me switch over to that document. So if you guys haven't seen my tweets, I put out the groups and what they are. If that's what you're here for, that stuff is in the bottom left of the spreadsheet. To try to explain this and put a visual to it, because that's how I am. I'm a visual learner. There's 3 qualifications on who goes where when it comes to the actual like standings and the results and the tiebreakers of everything. The way that it works is once we get our 16 teams in the main event, which we have. Once we have those 16 teams, what they do is they then say, okay, based upon your 3 most recent results, the best performing teams will be listed, and that is your seed. So BDS has 1,001 points. They have the most points, therefore they're the number 1 seed. Then Dignitas, Semper, Endpoint, all the way down. The way that it works then after that is based upon their overall points if there is any ties. So because these teams have ties, normally they would say, okay, how did you do in the most recent event, which is the close qualifier? But instead, they want to take consistency. So 3 most recent for recency bias, then overall point totals. If they are then tied after overall point totals, then they will look at closed qualifier results. So after the ties and everything else, that is how it determines where T goes, where 00 Nation goes, and where Team Queso goes. You can also see it in this list here based upon where they are placed, their total points, and how they are doing. So, people that are confused, even though T00 Nation and Queso, I have them in the list 8, 9, 10. When you look at the actual seating, it's 1, 8, 10, 15, I think it is for the groups. But the reason why T is 10, even though I have Queso there, is because T bumps up and 00 Nation bump up based upon their overall points. So even though technically 00 Nation I have listed as second due to the recent result and their close qualifier performance, Total points is the overall main qualifying. So let me actually paste those in here to give you guys exactly what I'm talking about. These are your tiebreakers. So 3 most recent events. That is the first one. If those points are tied, which they are, they're all at 220. We then go to overall points. Who has the most overall points out of T, 00 Nation, and Queso? 00 Nation is at 390. T is at 320. Queso is 330. So T ends up dropping down. Queso ends up going above them. So it should actually be 00 Nation, then Queso, then T. And that does show in my seeding for the groups. So 00 Nation, which is 8 seed, then goes to the first group. 1, 8, 10 is T. Singularity, which is 15. And it follows out as according. If you guys want to know the exact seeding yet again, let me pull it up for the groups and what numbers they are. That is what the groups are. So you have 1, 8, 10, 15, 2, 7, 9, 6, 3, 6, 12, 13, and 4, 5, 11, 14. So based upon that information, those numbers, those tiebreakers, that is how we determine who goes into what group. And that's what our groups are. So if we enhance that, you now know the groups and what they should be. Again, this is not official. This has not been put out by Psyonix or the Rocket League esports staff, but based upon people I trust who cross-checked it and the math that we've done. This is why it is that way. It is objective. It is, these are the exact results. These are the tiebreakers. Therefore, that's what they are. You can obviously have disagreements on going by 3 most recent results or overall points or what the tiebreakers themselves are. But if they're doing them absolutely objective, no matter the roster changes and results, this is what they come down to. So taking a look at these groups, BDS, 00 Nation, T, and Singularity, Dig, Misfits, Queso, Rix.gg, Semper, EG, Williams Resolve, Cooksters Minions, and Endpoint, Vitality, K-Corp, and Navi. A lot of people look at Group D, and as I mentioned in the intro, poor Navi. If K-Corp shows up as we expect them to, because we haven't heard anything about them in a very long time. You got 2 LAN teams with Vitality, some may say are struggling. K-Corp, which we know their potential, that looks pretty scary. Very similar to other things that we have seen, where although many people thought Oxygen wasn't going to take first in their group in Group D, they ended up doing so. So again, while groups are there, at the end of the day, you have to win the matches in front of you. And some people think that is a easy way out. But again, if we're doing things objectively with the points that they are, this is what they are. There is some, I think, that if I bold them are pretty easy to figure out. But I think Singularity will probably not make it here. I'd assume Rix doesn't make it here. This one I think is actually pretty tough. Probably Cooksters Minion going to get the lead end, and Navi. At first glance, you look at these and it's like, okay, the bottom seeds should be the ones knocked out. And that's what you want out of groups. But who takes first overall, what tiebreakers are going to be, and all that kind of stuff is absolutely crazy. Because don't forget, if the first and second team are tied, they will play a single best of 5 tiebreaker to see who's 1 and 2. If 3, 4 are tied in their group, they play a single best of 5 tiebreaker to see who is tied. Winner moves on, the loser goes home, and they are done for the event. So some of these groups look absolutely brutal compared to others, but overall, that is what they should be. I'm curious on what you guys think about the groups. Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys have any additional questions about these groups and stuff, I will link my tweet about it in the description down below if you want to make sure you guys can also see what those groups are for easier access. Otherwise, don't be afraid to just pause the video and put them up, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do. But more curiosity for me, let me know what you guys think. Who's going to make it forward to the groups? You guys have our 4 top teams. Who do you think are going to be our bottom teams? Let me know. List 1 through 12. And we'll figure it out from there. I'd be curious to hear on what you guys have to say. Do people still think Vitality is going to flop based upon their results recently? Do we think BDS, Dig, etc. are still going to be towards the top? This is the first time that we're going to see EU rosters going into the actual split. There's been a little bit of time, about a month plus, since we've had the fall major. So a lot of time can happen, a lot of new rosters and stuff like that. But for the most part, the top dogs stay in the exact same. Will we get the same results? We'll have to wait and see. Pretty exciting stuff this weekend. If you guys want to come talk about it, twitch.tv/Lawler. We'll be talking about EU stuff all week long, as well as some fun stuff, new mechanics and everything coming up here soon in a different style of video. Going to make sure you don't miss out on the new stuff. Make sure you guys hit subscribe, turn on notifications. As always, like the video if you do enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.